Verse 19. They said to him, therefore, where is your father? Jesus answered, you know neither me nor my Father. If you knew me, you would know my Father also. So it's like saying, okay, so who is your Father? Where? We're not where. Jesus just said that, I know where I'm from, I know where I'm going, right? So, and it said earlier, so now they're asking, where is your Father, right? In other words, kind of, where did you come from? Like if it says, oh, God is my Father. So, I mean, sure. He is going to say these things, right? And they're going to try and kill him, but his hour's not yet here, so they can't do anything. They're not going to. They're not asking this because they are debating Jesus here. They're just looking still, as we've seen earlier in the chapter, a way to catch Jesus. We've seen in the previous chapter how they didn't care. Like those guys, the soldiers coming back say, no one has ever spoken like this guy. So what do you say? And then the people started discussing this, and they were just, they're deceivers, he's a deceiver, he's evil, and you one of them, kind of, right? They were not interested in finding the truth at all, because they did not want to find the truth, because they knew the truth, but that he's evil. And so they're making as if they are, but they're asking is not because they want to know. Right? They're just looking for ways to catch him. Well, for Nicodemus, understandably, it helped because he got stronger and stronger in his faith, and ultimately he will be one of Jesus' disciples. But Jesus' answer to that is, you don't know my Father, right? You don't know me. Since you don't know me, you don't know my Father. If you would have known me, you would have known my Father also. So knowing me, knowing Jesus, is knowing the Father. How can you know the Father? By knowing the Son. Right? That's kind of very simple. So because in the Son, the Father has opened up a lot more about God, who God is. And He is God, the Son is God, the Spirit is God. And all of that we can then more clearly see. So much more in front of your eyes that God is even willing ultimately to die. Now God can't die, and God is man, is Jesus in this case, is going to die. See, even though they don't deserve it, right? Even though we don't deserve it, right? So they don't know Him. If they would have known Him, they would have known the Father. But they don't know the Father nor Him. Knowledge, knowing, but they do know, right? But they don't want to know. I've mentioned this a number of times. I can slap you in the face and you say, no, it didn't hurt me. And then turn around, you clench, the blood, I don't know if I guess I can eat you in the nose and the blood will come out. I'm not such a strong guy. Right? But you deny it, okay? You just deny it. Why? Because you don't want to admit to it. You don't want to admit to losing. We as humans are like that. Okay? So that doesn't mean we don't know. It doesn't mean we are not hurting. It just means we don't want to admit to something. Like they don't. We know that it's hurting, but we don't want to admit. They knew ultimately Jesus is more than. If all these people could see it, right? If the locals, if the Samaritans could see it, if that official there in Nazareth son could see it, the official whose son Jesus healed could see it. A Samaritan prostitute basically could see this. Those, according to them who don't know the law, could see this. Then how much more did they see it? But they didn't want to see it. They wanted to stay blind. Verse 20. These words he spoke in the treasury as he taught in the temple, but no one arrested him because his hour had not yet come. Right? So he spoke these words in the treasury. Now, if this was written after the fall of the temple, then why point out the fact that he spoke it in the treasury? There's no temple anymore. Okay, it's kind of knowledge that's totally outside of the scope of the need to know basis. Sometimes they say, you don't need to know this, right? I want to know, but this, you don't need to know this. There's stuff that kids need not know. Okay, but kids, you're not going to tell them. Now, if till they reach a certain age, okay. Now, in this case as well, it's like if the temple is not there, then John is very meticulous about everything. It's like there was lots of grass, there was lots of water in Solomon's portico. I mean, all these kinds. He was very meticulous about the finest detail. Okay, so if they can't know that, he wasn't minching words, he wasn't wasting words like I am, right? Everything was in its place. So if he knew that the people can't know about the treasure, where the treasure, because there's no temple anymore, and he's speaking to people out there, right, Jews out there in diaspora or something like that, then this is unnecessary knowledge. This is a waste of paper. And they had no paper there. This is a waste of space. The books, the rolls were X amount of words long, and to put in words there that's not part of the story really, that can't mean anything to anyone, to the readers, right? Like if this was after the year 70, that's kind of not going to happen. Okay, for me that's more proof that this was written earlier at least, and I think I've given enough proof to the fact that I believe it was written to the leadership. Because why? Who would know best where's the treasure? Who could look back 3 to 5 years and say, oh yeah, we remember Jesus standing there in the treasure, and we remember Jesus saying these words. Yeah, he was actually right. This is true, because we've seen his death, resurrection. And why? We tried to catch him then there, right? He said all these things, so we couldn't do anything against him. Why couldn't we do anything against him? Why? Oh, I mean, we had all the soldiers, we had everyone on our side, we had the law. Why couldn't we just go up to him and catch him? Why did we have to wait till midnight to do something, like dark of night something? Because these are evil. No, that's allegorical. Why? Because his hour's not yet come. Oh, so now we understand. He was standing there, he was teaching this. Although we tried our best, we sent the soldiers, no one could bring him back to us. Because his hour's not yet come. And this is why we need to believe in him. Because he knew all of this. And now we can look back 3 to 5 years and we can see it as well. Wow, and the lights go up. If the Spirit is in them, understandably. Otherwise the lights won't ever go up, because like there, the lights, they knew, but they didn't want to know. Simple. And this is ultimately the reason why, I believe as well that John wrote this at the very early stages, the first gospel, and why these guys couldn't do anything to Jesus. So again, this plea to the Jews, like, you could hear him standing there 5 years, 3 years, 5 years ago, there at the treasury. And you couldn't do anything against him. And this is what he said about his Father. Are you going to believe? Can't you see? Can't you see? Or is the question, you can see but you don't want to see? I think that is more the problem.